In today's video, you will need scissors, 5mm crochet hook, tapestry needle, the yarn you'll be using for the flowers. I'll be using Red Heart Super Saver in soft white, yarn for the vine of the flowers. I'll be using Red Heart Super Saver in medium thyme. And lastly, you will need the lights you will be using for this project. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so you will do a magic circle. And on this one, I'm just gonna go around once instead of like 3 times because this isn't something that's gonna be getting washed. And the loop does kind of stick out on the side, so you don't want too much bulk there. Just pull that and then chain 2, and this is going to act as one of your double crochets. So that's going to be 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So technically you only did 5 double crochets, and then the chain 2 counts as 1 as well. And you'll tighten this, but not all the way. That's why I kind of put my thumb in there. It's because you're gonna need to put this over the light when you're done. And then in that second chain, I'm gonna go in, slip stitch, chain 2, and that is going to count as your first double crochet. And then in that same spot, you're going to go in, and that is your first 2. And then in the first actual stitch, which is going to look a little weird because you kind of use part of it for this one, you're going to do 2 double crochets. And then you're going to do 2 double crochets all the way around. So that will end up being 11 double crochets plus this chain 2, which is number 12. And then for this next bit, you want to start kind of pinching it in to get that kind of bell shape. So you're going to skip the chain 2 and you're going to go straight into your first stitch. You're going to slip stitch, chain 1, and you're going to go into that same spot and do a single crochet, and you're going to do a single crochet in every stitch all the way around. And the whole point of using the 2 chains as a double crochet and then skipping 1 to kind of make this tighter is to save on yarn, because this is kind of a stash busting project as well. I did make a lot of these with leftover yarn. I needed more for another project and to finish this one up, so that's what this is for. And then you'll go into that first one, slip stitch, chain 1, and now into where you just chained 1, you're going to do a half double crochet, and into that same spot you're going to do a double crochet, and into that same spot you're going to do a half double crochet, and then the next spot you're going to slip stitch, and then in the same spot, next spot, you're going to do half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and then the next spot, slip stitch, and you're going to keep doing the 3 1 3 1 all the way around, and that is going to be your little petals. And then in the kind of like chain that you use to connect them, you're going to go in there and you're going to do your last slip stitch, chain 2 for security purposes, cut your yarn, be careful not to cut yourself, pull that through, pull that tight, and then you can either leave them like this. You don't want to cut this inside string yet, you're going to use that to tighten it around your light bulb. But you can either leave the flower petals downward, or you can kind of flatten them out if you would like. It's really whatever you prefer. But that is the size that I had to make for the lights I'm using. And now you will have to make a whole bunch of these. However many lights you have on your string of lights, that's how many of these you'll have to make. So I will be back after I've made 59 more of these. Now that I have all these made, let me show you how to put them on your lights. All right, so for the lights, here's the flower. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it inside out. And if you can find ones where this bit is green, that'll probably be better, because I'm gonna have to really crochet tightly around this so that you can't see the white through it, but it's not that big a deal. It's just gonna be in my craft room. Right, and then once you get that past the edge, we'll just pull that nice and tight. Taking your tapestry needle, and then I'm just gonna go back a couple of loops to secure it and hide it, and then later I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna cut that, and then honestly, since this is just for me, I'm going to kind of singe the end with a lighter and squish it down to the fibers so it can't come undone. But for now, just so you can see what it's gonna look like, flip that back up. You have a little flower. And you'll also want to weave in this end as well. And then also for this plug-in bit, since this isn't gonna be used, I'm just gonna throw a flower over it as well. So it took a moment to get it on there, but I got it on there. It's not as pretty looking as the other ones, but it's just meant to hide it. It's just gonna be at the end. It's not a big whoop. And you'll just keep putting those on all the other ones. And then once you have them on there, let me pop a few more of these on and I'll show you how I'm gonna crochet on this. So I have some on here, and for mine, it has the straight line and then it has some that branch off. So if yours is just straight, you can just start from one end and crochet all the way down. If yours is like mine, what I'm gonna do, so I can weave in as few ends as possible, I'm gonna start up here at the base and crochet down, crocheting over the tail that I made from starting this, and crochet down, oh sorry, crochet down, and then when I get to here, I'm gonna stop, cut it, and I'll have a tail on each tendril. But then when I get done doing each kind of, I don't know what else to call these besides tendrils, once I get done doing each one, then I'm gonna start off here and I'm gonna crochet all the way up it, going over those tails on my way down the base, if that makes any sense. So let me go ahead and do one so you understand. I'm just gonna start off right here. And then pulling that tail over. You don't have to worry about getting this pushed up against this right away. You can push them up later after you get a few on here, but then you're just gonna go back around. So you're just crocheting as usual, or as normal, except for instead of going into a loop to pull up a thread, you're just going under the wire. to pull up a loop. And you may want to take care of these first because they are kind of getting in the way. To go around the base of this one once. And then when I get done, I kind of plan on kind of swirling this around, but until then, it's fine. So that's what it's looking like so far. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going to want to just continue it down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chain 2 to secure it, pull out a little tail. See, that way once I start here, each of these tendrils will be done like this. I'll go straight down over this tail I made, straight down. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of the tendrils so I can show you what the straight down bit will look like. Now that I have finished the tendrils, because I can't think of a better word to call them, the string that you used to end the tendril bit is what we're going to crochet over, and then the one where you started it and you just crochet over that, you can go ahead and cut those off. And then we're gonna be crocheting over these. So the only thing you're gonna have to weave in when you finish this is at the very, very end when you finish the straight down bit, you cut it. So that's gonna be very nice. But now that I finished the tendrils, we're gonna start up here. This is the plug-in bit. It's just disguised. I'm just gonna keep going like this all the way down. I'm getting it as tight as I possibly can. I don't think it's going to be enough, so I'm going to go around the base of this one and then go around the next bit. Making sure to pull down the string from that tendril to crochet over it so you don't have to weave it in. No extra work on this project. And this is just the one we're crocheting over, so I'm just gonna leave that out so I can cut it off at the end. me go ahead and cut that so you can see it. I have to do some maneuvering because mine is white. That's why I recommend getting a green one. And there you go. So I'm going to keep going down the straight bit, treating these tendrils the same, going up as high as I can, going around the base of the tendril once, and then continuing. And then I'll see you at the end when I'm done. Now that I'm done, I'm going to take the end and leave it in. I left a little bit of room, so in case this has to be around to be plugged in, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna leave this in. Because also with this on, like, it's still flexible, it's just not as flexible. So in case I had this behind my dresser, I wanted it to be able to fit a little easier. And then you can just go through and cut off the ends you wove over when you were doing the tendril. And then once you're done with that, you're done. Everything's done, everything's good. And they're cute. Now let's get these set up and turn them on and see what they look like. I love it. I can't wait to get the item of furniture I plan on having this over. And oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, I used flashing lights because I want it to kind of have a magical look, like it's a magical plant or something, because it's going to go with the vibes of my room that I'm aiming for. It'll make more sense once you see the item of furniture I'm going to have this draped over. But that's a secret for a different video, so you'll have to wait for that. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. If you'd like to ask your questions in a more private setting, you can also ask them over on Instagram. I'll have that link in the description box below. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.